Morning, Ellie.
Morning, everybody. Let me just pin my video so you know we're on Facebook Live. So I'm not sure who's there. So morning, girl. I press record. Yes. Okay. Now, it's not a normal one of my classes because we've got some newbies and the coaching club is set up slightly differently. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about the Pilates before we start. But even for you girls that have worked with me before, it's always good to go back to basics and check your alignment. So bear with me. I hope you enjoy it, and we will get started. So I might.
Do we need anything?
No props this morning. As I say, it's going real back to basics, so no props this morning.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I'm going to mute you all, but I'll chat to you at the end, just in case somebody has, like me, has a dog running in or something like that. So, morning everybody. And this is, some people will be on catch-up, and I understand there's quite a few people that have never done Pilates before. So I'm going to talk a little bit before we get moving, but I promise I'll be as quick as we can. I just want to talk about why I'm so passionate about Pilates and why it's a good part of your overall well-being and your exercise program. So very simply, Pilates was set up by Joseph Pilates many years ago, and he devised a group of exercises that were designed to rehabilitate. He realised that he could basically fix people through exercise. And although some of the exercises he did were for ballerinas and for sports stars, they're still around today. I find some of them still quite difficult, but what was done was taking the philosophy of Pilates and just adapted them for now, really, made them a little bit more up to date, but the philosophy stays the same. And so I'm just going to start on one of the philosophies, which is alignment and posture. Those that have worked with me before know I'm a bit of a nag. And what this does is it helps you in your everyday life, being aware of your body, you know, which is it's amazing. I do teach people, I'm saying lift the left hip or the right hip, and they're not really connecting. So it's really good for that. But also, just want you to think about your spine. So when you're little and you were learning to walk, your natural spine is a lovely S shape. And the reason for that is it means it's the best shock absorber. So if you're a runner or just everyday life, if you've got this lovely S shape in your spine, it is the best thing for your body and it stops injuries. Now, what changes with that? So as ladies, if you've had a baby and you've got the weight in front and you start to compensate, you're over-exaggerating here. If you've got an injury, you might be a little bit lopsided. If you put weight on, if you're struggling with your weight, you'll find that your distribution of weight change is going to affect your spine. If your job is over a desk all day, what you do is lengthening at the back and shortening the muscles at the front, so that has an effect as well. The other thing is, if you're suffering with low moods, it's exactly the same. You can see somebody with a low mood, how they curve through here, dropping that head down. And all of this has an effect on the rest of your body. So what we're going to try and do is get that lovely S shape back and strengthen the muscles to keep it there. So I'm just going to keep putting you back in alignment until it happens naturally. So I hope that makes a bit of sense. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to work with the core. So some people think that core is these abdominal muscles, and I've heard people say, oh, hey, you're coming back and back to your spine. But if I do that, I'm just sucking in here. What I want to do is all these muscles that are stabilizing the hips and spine and the sling muscles that hold all the gubbins together, I want to strengthen here. Now, how do you find your core? How do you connect with this bit? Now, some of you have done this with me before, so that's how I'm going to start off. I want you to put your hands at the side of your rib cage, just hold on here. Now, nothing might happen today. You might not be able to do this, but I want you to practice. So feet hip distance apart. Okay, so I've got a late comer in. I don't want to miss anybody. So, okay, take your hands to the side of your wrist. Now, relax those tummy muscles. Now, I know this is hard for some ladies. We've been told to breathe in. This is the way I get my jeans on. Okay, relax the tummy muscles. Really let everything hang out. Literally, hang out. And here. Right, now breathe in through your nose. Now push that air to the bottom of your ribs. And feel that rib cage expand. Now, as children, this is how we breathe. The rib cage comes again, breathing in through the nose. Push the air to the bottom of the ribs. Feel that expand. Now feel the tummy expand as well. But you've got to relax the tummy muscles to do that. And now exhale. Let's try that once more. Breathing in through the nose. Push the air down. What we want to do is raise these ribs. You should feel it. If your hands are there, it should be moving. Your hands, feel that tummy expand. And exhale. Okay, right. Let's do that once more. Breathing in through the nose. Push the air. So not breathing here. This is a stressful breath. Push the air to the bottom of your lungs. Raise up through the rib cage. Feel this tummy expand. Now this time, as you exhale, feel it retract. Now draw up through your pelvic floor. So as if you're holding a wee. Gently, don't snatch it. Very gently. Hold it. And relax. Okay. That is engaging your core. So if I say it's a bit like zipping up. Pull up as if you're holding a wee. And the back end as well. All of that connects with your core. And relax. You've got to learn to relax as well as draw up. That's really important that you lengthen these muscles as well. Okay, right. So we are going to get started. We are going to start to move. Can I put your hands onto your hips? Feet hip distance apart. Now, just tip your pelvis forward and backwards. We're going to do more of this later on, but just to start. Now, you'll be a bit stiff, so it's not going to go very far. What I look for is that midway point between that forward and backwards. And hold it there. This is neutral spine. We're going to line that and do it a little bit more, but that's what I'm looking for when you're standing up. I want to put your fingers at the top of your hips and the bottom of your rib cage. Now, what I want you to do is separate these as far away as you can. So you're decompressing your spine. So if I say stand up tall, many people are going to raise their chest up. It's here in this lumbar spine region that we really need to elongate through the spine and decompress it. Brilliant. Okay, standing nice and tall. We're going to go take our weight around our feet. So we're going to switch the core on a little bit. And you're just going to take your weight forward and round, a bit like a drunken sway. But keep the body straight. So I'm not tipping forward and rolling round. And concentrate on your feet and what's happening there. I'm taking my weight forward, to the side, to the heels, to the other side. Okay, so we're connecting with those feet, but also switching this core on. Now, take it in the opposite direction. And settle back into the middle. Right, quick tip. If you're not sure about the size of your hips, 2 fists between your big toes is what we're looking for. Okay, so shoes and socks off, make sure you've got that. A nice flat surface to begin. We're going to work on the mat as well, but we're just going to do a prep phase. So that's warming up the body. So I have got beginners with me, so bear with me, those advanced girls. What I will say, it's always good to get back to basics. It really is. So hands on top of your shoulders. And we're going to do circles. Now, those that know me can carry on straight away. Now, if you're a beginner, just start with really small, drawing small circles with the elbows. Just feel what's happening in the shoulder region and whole of the shoulder. Okay, now, if you can, start to get it bigger and bigger. And if anybody's got any injuries, obviously I'll try and accommodate today. I'll give you changes and regressions and progressions. But if you want to message me, it's always good for me to have it in mind if somebody has got some injuries. Right, draw nice circles. Now relax through the neck, nice and long through the neck. Try not to hold any tension there. Soften the knees, so don't lock the knees out, and draw these circles. Okay, so what we're doing is working the whole of the shoulder girdle. Very often, if you've been sitting at a desk, it can be quite stiff. Now, change direction. I find that quite hard. Change direction. Okay, so concentration is part of Pilates. It's a brilliant de-stressor for that reason. It's a whole 45 minutes on you and your body. Okay, 2 more. And the last one, and relax. Okay, arms down to the side. Now, I just want you to drop your chin to your chest. Feel that lengthening. Now, it's the weight of your head coming forward and slowly raise it up again. Let's do that again, nice and slowly. Just let the weight of the head come forward and taking your chin to your chest. Just hold it there. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. Now, what I want you to do is is roll the head to one side, taking the ear towards the shoulder, keeping this opposite shoulder down. Okay, then take it forward and to the other side. And once more each side. Now, if you are a beginner and you don't get everything I'm saying today, do not worry, it will happen. Just do as much as you can, and please message with any questions. Okay, right. And take that head forward. Now, slowly raise that head up. Okay, right. Now I'm going to warm up through the arms and toes and knees as well. So we're just going to march. So this is what's happening with the arms. Just going to do very simple movements with the arms. And at the same time, opposite hand to knee. Okay, and raising up onto your toes. And just a nice warm up, get the heart rate going. Now, when you start classes like this, I remember when I took this class, I think, oh, blimey, this is a waste of time. Bear with me, it isn't. And sometimes the small movements in Pilates make all the difference. So reaching nice and tall onto those toes. Just increasing the range of movement in your shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to rest. Okay, take your elbows into your waist. Palms facing upwards and facing forward. And this is called a dumb waiter. Soften those knees again. Open out through the chest. The squeezing shoulder blades together at the back. And then bringing the hands forward. Okay, nice and long through the neck. So we're really opening out through the chest. And generally, with our lifestyle today, most people are quite closed in the chest. It's like this. So shoulders back. Squeezing shoulder blades together at the back. And don't forget to breathe. Okay, so on this one, open wide. Now take the palms up towards the ceiling and back and hands together. Let's go again. So just concentrate on your shoulder blades and what's happening. So they're raising up and down. So we're getting a full range of movement. If you have got any injuries, I do find that people really get a benefit from this one. Okay, 2 more. And down, and the last one. If you're sitting at your desk, this is a really good one for you to do. And release. Okay, we're going to warm up those hips, knees, and ankles. We're going to go into a Pilates squat. So feet hip distance apart, and just going to turn side on. Second and third toe facing forward, soften those knees. Let's find that neutral spine again, so a couple of tilts, find that midway point. If you've got any arm injuries or shoulders, you can put your hands across your chest, but if not, we're coming into a full squat. So the weight is coming back into your heels. Keep that head and chest up, so it's not here, it's here. And if you can get those arms either side of your head, brilliant. Okay, so keeping the hips level, knees level, push through those heels to come up to standing. So I take a breath in before I start. I breathe out on the exertion. So my core is helping. You should be able to raise your toes up when you're in this squat, just to check your weight and your heels. Keep going. As I said, if you've got any problems with your shoulders or your arms, you can cross the arms over. If you can raise them, however high, don't worry if you can't get them very high. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Okay. Now what I want you to do is just, this is a bit of a self-check. We're going to stand on one leg. How easy is that? Well, we are going to do it. We are going to close our eyes. Make sure you're in a safe space. Okay, right. So to start, we'll get these hips level, so we're not itching here. And to start, just stand on one leg. Okay, just hold that there for a moment. So there's all these little muscles working to keep you upright. Now change leg. You might find a difference from one leg to the other. And we've warmed up the feet, so you've got that connection with the ground. and release. Okay, now I want you to do the same thing, but close your eyes. And over the week, we'll carry on doing this and see how it improves. Okay, so nice and tall through the spine, hips level. Don't have to take the foot up too high. Spot something in the distance and hold it there. And when you're ready, close your eyes and see how many seconds you can hold that balance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job you're on your mute. I haven't heard anybody fall. Right, change time. I'm cheating a bit today. I've got my eyes open today. Just wanted just checking that everything's working. And when you're ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. Okay, I have to say, do this when you clean your teeth in the morning. Just start to stand on one leg. My mum's nearly 80 and she's doing it brilliantly. It's made such a difference because she has been falling and we've stopped all of that by doing some pilates exercises. Okay, right, let's move on. So top of your mat, we're going to transition down to the mat. And how we're going to do that? We're going to mobilize the spine with a roll down. You'll get used to the names, don't worry. So second and third toes facing forward. Feet hip distance apart, soften the knees. So I don't want the knees locked out, always soften the knees. Neutral spine, just do that a little bit of a tip, forward and backwards, find that midway point, grow nice and tall. Take those shoulders up, back and down, shoulders away from your ears, nice and long through the neck. Now, relax the abdominal muscles again, as we did at the beginning. So breathing in through the nose, feel the lungs from the bottom, feel that tummy expand as the diaphragm lowers. Now, as you exhale, retract, now draw it to the pelvic floor and take your chin to your chest. Again, as we did in the warm-up. Now, we're going to roll down to the mat. What we're going to do is kick forward, and it's one vertebrae at a time, peeling off the spine, and we're going to come all the way into a forward fold. So we're hinging at the hips, we're mobilizing through the spine, and you should feel it with your hamstrings. Now, if you're really tight in your hamstrings, you might want to bend the legs a little bit more. Relax through the neck, relax through the shoulders. Now, those that are more advanced now, raise the tailbone up towards the ceiling a little bit more. Just give these hamstrings more of a stretch. Hold it there. Press in. And as you breathe out, reconnect to that core, draw it to the pelvic floor. So you stabilize the hips and spine, coming up standing, and resetting the spine one vertebrae at a time, all the way up. The head is the last thing to come up. Shoulders up, back and down, and raise that head. Let's go again. Breathing in, relax the abdominal muscles, and as you exhale, draw it to the pelvic floor. So we stabilize the spine and the hips, chin to chest, and off we go. Relax these arms forward. This is called a roll down. Brilliant for the spine and to the hips, all the way into this forward fold. And try to get your chest onto your knees. So if you've got big boobs, it really does help. Hold it there, raising that tailbone up a little bit more, extra stretch here, press in, and as you breathe out, draw it to the pelvic floor to engage in the core, and we're coming back up to standing. Head is the last thing to come up, take those shoulders up, back and down, and standing nice and tall. Now, usually go a couple of inches taller. Last one, breath in, breathe out, chin to chest, and roll down. So see if you, on this third one, you get any closer to the floor. Feel that lovely stretch. Okay, right, so we're going to walk our hands forward, keeping your hips as still as you can. Those that are more advanced to work with the floor, you can go straight and just hold it in plank. For the beginners, we're just going to walk out very slowly, keeping those hips as still as you can. And we're just going to try not to walk forward. So just drop those knees down. Everybody else that wants to, into full back plank, hold it there, and then drop onto all fours. Now, when I'm talking about alignment, we're talking about alignment in all positions, whether we're standing, on all fours, or lying down. So when we're here, your knees should be hip distance apart, your hands should be shoulder width apart, always nice and long through the neck. And what that means is, take your gaze just in front of your fingertips. So if you're here, you can strip to the neck. And if you're that way, you practice the same. So nice and long through the neck. Imagine you've got an imaginary line running between your hands and your knees, and your weight stays in the middle of that, whatever exercise we're actually doing. Okay, so my hips over my knees, and my shoulders over my wrists. So we're going to mobilize that spine again. It's called sad cat, happy cat. So we should breathe in. You're going to curl the spine towards the ceiling, dropping the head down, keeping that weight between the 4 points. And as you exhale, chest towards the mat, head raises up, push through these hands, and you're arching out through the back. Mine doesn't move very much. The steel rod, so it helps. Okay, and again, breathing in. Curling up through that spine, and as you exhale, chest towards the mat, and raise that head. Let's go for one more. Curling up. And exhale, raising the head, dropping the chest. Now, come to a flat back, so a neutral back. Now I want you to wag your tail. Okay, so as if you're a dog, nice to wag from side to side. If you've got any lower back problems, this is a great relief. And come to rest. Okay, so we're going now into bird dog. But so for those that are more advanced with you, that might get a bit frustrated this morning, you can go straight into bird dog. For the beginners, what I want you to do, I'm just going to talk through this with you. So again, relax through the abdominal muscles. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, draw up to the pelvic floor, so you're engaging the core, and you're just going to raise one arm forward and bring it back. Change side, breath in, and as you breathe out, connect to that core and raise the other arm forward. Now that looks very easy, but what I want you to make sure you do is you're not leaning to one side and those shoulders are level. Let's do that again. Breath in, breathe out, connect to that core, raise that arm forward, so breathe back tight and back. Push through that supporting hand, keep your shoulders level. Breath in. Breathe out, draw it to the pelvic floor, hold that weight, and raise and lower. Okay, right. Do the same thing with the legs. Breath in, and as you breathe out, slide one leg behind, hips level towards the mat, so I'm not twisting, and back in, and the other side. Push through these supporting hands so you're not going to sink, and back. And change. So what you're trying to do is keep your weight over that imaginary line, keep the hips level, keep the shoulders level. If you're doing it properly, it shouldn't be that easy. And back. Okay, now I'm going to do those two things together. Opposite hand to leg is coming away. So beginners, we're here. For those advanced, raise up. And back. Change side. So sliding them along the mat. Feel those core muscles kicking in. You might not know that they're core muscles, but you'll start to recognize them. Now, if you can, take it a little bit higher, so reaching away, nice and long through the neck, remember, picking it up and back. So that gaze is just in front of my fingertips, hips are level, shoulders are level. Now look at my back foot, flat onto the mat, so not curled up, flat. And try and relax it. If you're gripping there, it's not your core that you're using. And change side. So this is called bird dog. So we're using it out, we're strengthening through the back, we're mobilizing through the hips and through the shoulders, and strengthening the core. Let's go one more each side. And the last one. And release. Okay, let's come into child's pose. But for me, take your feet and your knees the same for hip distance, hands forward, take your tailbone, then caution, back towards your heels, arms forward, and a good stretch. Now, if you've got any knee issues, keep your bottom in the air, so you're doing it like a sleeping baby. But if you can, take it all the way back, drop that head down, and get a lovely stretch to the top half of your shoulders, and it's quite nice to do the hips as well. Okay, come up to all fours, back onto all fours, Hand towards your temple. I'll just change this side. Okay. What I want you to do is put your elbow to your elbow and then open up. So this is the start of threading the needle. It's a great mobility exercise. Rotation through the spine, keeping those hips level. Push through this supporting hand. We're going for 5 each side. So you're really trying to open out through the chest. Some of you will probably do much better than me, but 2 more. Feel that opening, and it's a strengthening. Feel it through the back and release. Change sides, so fingers to temples, elbow to elbow, open out. But try and keep these hips level so it's not pushed to the side. Three, 4, and 5, and release. Okay, can you sit onto your bottoms, and then come all the way down to the mat. So you're lying on your side, extend this bottom hand away. What I want you to do is stack your hips so they're on top of each other, stack your knees and stack your feet. Now imagine there's a piece of string pulling this front hip forward. It's really easy to roll back, but I want everything stacked. Put your hands in front of you and raise this underneath the waist. Now watch this. Okay, push this top hip away and I'm raising through the waist. Imagine your spine's back. If you do this, it's curved. If you push that hip away, it's in a lovely alignment. Okay, right. Hands in front for beginners, and everybody else got the hands on the hip. Raise 2 feet off the mat, and we're doing something called clamp. So you're going to open out through the knee and bring it slowly controlled together. Now, slower is stronger, so don't whiz through these. So you'll feel it into your glutes. So when we do squats, it's the glute, the big glute muscles that are kicking in. When we do something like this, it's the tiny glute muscles, and these help stabilize the hips. So they're really important. Again, not sinking into the mat here and not rolling back with your shoulder. If you find you're doing that, bring that hand forward. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, lower down. Extend that top leg. Bend the bottom leg, unless you advance and extend both legs away. What we want to do is knees coming forward, and we're going to do leg raises. Again, remember this underneath weight. I'm going to raise and lower. So if you don't lift it very high, don't worry. What I don't want is you to lift it high and lose all this alignment. So it's just a movement from this hip, nice and long through the leg. Just feel it through the glutes. So if you're more advanced, you can do this. 2 straight legs and take your hands away. If you're not, put your hand there. Now, when you do Pilates, I want you to challenge yourself. So always have a go at something a little bit harder, but make sure you're keeping that alignment. It's better to do a regression than a progression if it's not done well. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, push yourself up to sitting on this side. Stay on this side. Now, if you can just stagger your knees, I'm just going to do a mermaid stretch before we change over. So for beginners, if I can just get you to sit here, okay, more advanced, come into how we normally sit, get your sitting bones down towards the mat. Now, if you've got hip problems, extend the leg, or there's so many regressions here. If you've got knee problems, you can bring that leg forward. Okay, but for beginners, we're going to be here. Take your hands to the side, and we're coming up and over for a stretch. Now, if you can, take the forearms from the mat, and reach away and over. Raise this underneath weight, push through that hand, come up, and over to the other side. Now, you might not move very far that side. Let's go again, up and over. And push. You advanced girls know how to do this in a slightly different way, but this is how we start with this exercise. So we're mobilizing through the hips, working through the obliques, and release. let's change sides and come down to the mat to start that clamp. And set yourself up again. Extend this bottom. If you've got problem in your neck, you can always put a pillow here. Okay, stack the hips, stack the knees, stack the ankles. Push this top hip away to raise this underneath away from the floor. And here, if you need to, 2 feet off the floor. And we start with a clamp. So opening out through this knee. If you're rolling back, try and bring it back forward, slowly and controlled. Don't forget to breathe. I say that because I do have some people that's waiting for me to tell them to breathe. And there's another thing, a breath that we actually do, which means you've got your core on, but you carry on working and carry on breathing. And you do that by expanding through the back and the side of your rib cage. And it will come with practice. I'll talk about that in coming weeks. But stay with them. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, extend those legs away. So for beginners, bend the underneath leg, extend the top leg away, raise this waist off the floor again, so put your hand forward and leg raises, and then the knee is pointing forward. Sometimes we point things towards the ceiling, we're rotating more through the hips, but today we're just, it's a movement from the hip, the rest of the body should be staying still. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, push yourself up to sitting. You're just going to come into mermaid. So for beginners, sitting into mermaid, hands to the side. If you can, forearms to the mat, reaching up and over, raise that underneath waist. Push up and up and over, reaching up before you come over. So feel that stretch down the side. We're going for 3 of these. This is a lovely stretch. And the last one. And release. Okay, come onto your bottom. Now onto your sitting bone, that's the bony part of your bottom. So just find those. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some C curls back. So for beginners, I'll give the more advanced one first. So girls, arms in front, and we're just going to C curl without the ball today. Keep the chin off the chest and back up. Okay, for beginners, hands behind your thighs, on your sitting bones, nice and long through the neck. And what we're going to do is C curl the spine. So you're coming off your sitting bones, curling the spine, keep your hands behind your thighs, and then a little bit more, and then back up to sitting. Okay, so we're starting to work the abs. For those advanced ones, if you can do the full move, and you can do the legs extended if you want to, roll down as far as you can, or do full roll down. But for those beginners today, just want to get used to this. Keep the chin away from the chest. As far as you can, always back to the sitting bone, sitting nice and tall. So some of you might find this quite difficult, even in that sitting position. When you're sitting at your desk, try and do the same things onto those sitting bones. That's the most stable for your spine to be. Okay, let's go to 2 more. So we're mobilizing through the spine, feel those abs kicking in. And that nice posture when you're coming back to sitting. Okay, advanced girls, extend your legs, float the arms, and can you do a full roll down for me and take the arms up overhead? For those beginners, hands again behind the thighs, the C curl that we've just done, and then slowly, your feet might come off the floor, roll all the way down to the mat. And into a full body stretch. So extend the legs away. Take the arms up and over. Now watch when I do this. If you take your arms over your head and you raise in your chest, the movement's not coming from your shoulders, it's coming from your back. So take it as far as you can, but keeping the rib cage at the back on the floor. And reach away as far as you can. Extend the legs and extend the feet. Oh, that feels good. Okay, slowly Bring one foot towards the bottom and then the second. Now, float those arms above your chest, palms facing inwards. So a bit like we did with bird dog, we do the opposite arm to leg. And what we're going to do, take the breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to slide one leg along the mat and take one opposite arm up and over the head. And then breathing it in. And change sides, really reach away, keeping those hips level, shoulders level on the mat, nice and long through the neck. This is a brilliant brain training exercise. Anything that's opposite arm to leg helps with those connections and hopefully keeps dementia at bay, right? Reaching away and coming back. Oh, as usual, I'm going to run out of time, so let's keep going. Nice and slowly and controlled. Okay, let's go for two more. So you practice these at home. And then come back to the center. Okay, hands onto your tummy. I want to touch onto this today. Take your feet, make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Make sure that your hips are level on the floor and your shoulders are level on the floor. And also you're elongated through the spine. So you might want to lift yourself up and just separate those vertebrae a little bit. Hands onto your tummy, thumbs towards your tummy button, fingers towards your pubic bone if you can. What I want you to do, you've got an imaginary marble in the middle, tip the marble, tip the hip so the marble rolls towards your tummy button. So this is the clock phase, your tummy button is 12 o'clock and your pubic bone is 6 o'clock. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so rolling towards the tummy button to 12 o'clock and then roll the marble, imaginary marble the other way to 6 o'clock. So we hip still, keep going with those. Try and keep the knees still, relax through the neck. You might be a little bit stiff in this area. Okay, keep moving. Again, if you've got any lower back problems, this is a lovely release. Hips level on the mat. And shoulders too. Okay, right. Now, balance the marble in the middle of the clock face, hold it there. This is neutral spine, and you can check by putting your hands behind your back, and there should be a gap there. Okay, so we're not pressing into the side, into the mat. Okay. Hands back on this pelvic clock. So now take marble from 3 to 9. So we're rolling the marble from side to side, and that just means you're lifting one hip and then the other. If you want to make this a bigger movement, keep those knees still. It's just a movement from the hip, and you start to raise one butt cheek off the mat. Sometimes people can't move in this direction at all when we first start, but it will get better. And 3, 2, and 1. Settle that marble back down. Take your hands to the floor. Now the side of your hips. We're going to come into some very small shoulder bridges now. So shoulders level on the mat, nice and long through the neck. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, roll that marble towards 12 o'clock. So tipping the hips towards your tummy button. Push through the heels, squeeze the glutes, and raise the hips off the mat. Hit one vertebrae at a time. Keep the chest down. If you feel any pressure in your neck, drop the chest down, up, hips level, and then slowly, as you exhale, all the way back down to the mat. So one vertebrae at a time. Let's go again. Breath in. Breathe out. Tipping that pelvis. Raising those hips up, healing the spine off the mat. Squeeze the glutes. Keep the chest down. Hips level. If you want to, just quickly put your hands onto your hips to check. And then slowly all the way back down to the mat. So we're strengthening through the back line, we're strengthening the core. Let's go again, strengthening the glutes. Just healing that spine, one vertebrae at a time, all the way up. Squeeze those glutes. And slowly all the way back down. Okay, let's do that again. Tipping, healing off, raising up. Push through those heels and all the way back down. Last one. And raising those hips up all the way back down. Okay, fantastic. Take one knee into your chest and bring the other one to join it. Just hug off and rock from side to side. Okay, we're just going to have to finish with a bit of a stretch. Okay. Right, okay, keep one knee into your chest, extend the other one along the mat, so open out through the hip flexor. Again, shoulders level on the mat, keep both butt cheeks on the mat and hug this knee in. Shoulders away from the ears. Now, opposite hand to knee, other hand out to the side. Take this knee across the body, keeping the shoulders on the mat, and lower it towards the floor. Hold it there, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, relax and press this knee very gently closer to the floor. Okay, both hips back to the mat. Extend that leg away, change leg, so hug that knee into your chest. Opposite hand to knee, let's take it up and over the body. So this is rotating through the spine. You should feel it through the glutes as well. Hold it there, breath in. And as you breathe out, just get closer to the floor. And release. Okay, now roll onto your side. Hands at chest height, hands together, arms extended away. Stack the hips, they're on top of each other and the knees and the ankles. And what I want you to do, the top hand is coming up and over and reaching towards the floor behind you. So we're opening out through the chest, but keep it at chest height, hips facing forward. So again, lovely rotation, hands together, bring them back together. So these are arm openings, and again, reach away, really reach as far as you can. And hands back together. Now this time, the top hand is drawing two circles. So we're really working into the shoulders, giving past, and one more. And release. Now, change side. So you can extend one arm behind, take your knees up and over in the opposite direction. And I'm just going to jiggle round. Okay. Onto your side again. Back in the hips, shoulders, hands at chest height together. Top hand is coming up and over, extending away, keeping our hips facing forward. There's a rotation through the spine. And back together. And again. Up and over, reaching away. And together. Okay, top hand. So just feel what's happening with that whole shoulder joint. And again. Once more. And release. Okay, slowly push yourself up. And if you can sit cross-legged, sit cross-legged. I know if you've got injuries, you might struggle with it. Sit on your awkward side, so the side you don't normally sit. If you struggle with sitting cross-legged, you can be forward or extended, or you can sit into straddle position. Okay, what I want you to do is hand to one side, up and over again, as we've done in the mermaid stretch, to reach away. Okay, now, rotate your shoulders towards that knee, and walk your hands, if you can, around. Feel that into your glutes. Lovely stretch. To the other side, open out through the chest. Back to sitting. Let's do that one again. Up and over. Coming down, so taking your weight forward. Two shoulders forward. Walk your hands round. Open out. And back. Okay. Oh, I'm dead on time. Okay, right. Let's do a couple of deep breaths just to finish. So, normal breath, breathing in, feeling those lungs, raising the hands towards the ceiling, take your gaze up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, spread those fingers really wide and get rid of all of that stay there. Let's try that again. Deep breath in, breathing in, raising the head up towards the ceiling, and exhale. And release. Okay, just work this head once more. So I want you to rotate and looking over one shoulder. Might feel a little bit easier than when we start, hopefully. Back to the center. Don't force anything. Just gently feel the attention and just push it a little bit more and back. Once more each side. Drop these shoulders away from the ears. And to the centre. And the last side. And back towards the centre. And we're done. So thank you. And thank you, Advanced Girls, for bearing with us. Let me just stop that recording.